When I first met you, you were rough around the edges. I think I helped you find a center lane. What do you think about Sam winning his pro card?
Your top 3 predictions for open bodybuilding without seeing anybody on stage.
That's simple. You
Wait.
think you were actually leading the workouts?
Not leading, but...
Do you think you were even motivating me at all?
I
I know
didn't.
what an oracle is, that's why I said it. What's going on, everybody? I'm Fouad Abiad, retired ifbb pro, owner of Hosstile Supplements, and host of the Real Bodybuilding Podcast.
Who can jump higher, you or Paul?
Paul has zero athletic ability, so I'm going to say definitely me.
I'm a little bit older than you.
He's gonna blame it on the age.
He always does.
What year did you turn pro?
I turned pro in 2006
What show was that?
at the Canadian Nationals, and I won the overall and the super heavyweight class.
If you can swap physiques with any bodybuilder for a day, who would it be and why?
Ronnie Coleman. I would definitely switch with Ronnie Coleman because who fucking wouldn't want to be the greatest bodybuilder ever of all time and just be that jacked out of my fucking mind for one day in the gym would be incredible.
What would be like the first thing that you would lift? Like, would you go and do deadlifts?
Squats.
Squats?
Squats.
That's crazy. If you could only eat one cheat meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Can I just say pasta or do I have to pick a specific kind of pasta?
No, you can say pasta, yeah.
Yeah, pasta, as long as I can have various sauces.
Okay, yeah.
You know, if I can do like a blush sauce and like a fucking...
That's kind of cheating, but sure.
Okay, if I had to pick one sauce, I would probably just do a tomato sauce with a penne for the rest of my life. I know it sounds so simple, but fuck, I could eat pasta every day forever.
That's literally my favorite, so I agree. Okay, what is your favorite supplement?
Pre-workout. It has to be. I know it's super basic, but we put all of our effort into our hostility because of that reason. I've been taking pre-workout every day since I started bodybuilding, and it's such an addiction. I literally can't work out without it. So it's the one supplement I have to have.
Okay, and then stim or non-stim? Like, what's your favorite?
Stim.
Stim?
Not crazy stim. Like, we make a product called Amped that like kind of gives you the shakes. I'm not that crazy, but like 300 milligrams of caffeine and I'm like, I'm good. I'm having a good workout.
That's still a lot.
No, it's like average. Like,
That's still a lot.
no, like 250 to 350 is like the average pre-workout. So I think
I love caffeine, so I agree. I'd probably do 2 scoops and be like, go crazy. But
Yeah.
if bodybuilding didn't exist, which career would you have?
I went to university to be a police officer.
Oh,
So
wow.
I would probably end up on the police force. I wanted to be like a SWAT team guy and
cool.
like get into detective work one day. So I wanted to like do the police thing and like rise through the ranks. So I probably would have kept on doing that.
So you wouldn't want to be like a race car driver?
Oh, well, if we're talking the unrealistic dream.
Yeah, like
holy fuck.
anything.
Oh, well, look, when I was 5 years old, I wanted to be a race car driver. And
Oh,
my
wow.
dad was like, we're poor. Go find something else to do. So,
Oh my God.
yeah, a race car driver is the ultimate dream. But yeah, that's the unrealistic one.
Okay. Why did you start Hosstile Supplements?
I started Hosstile Supplements because I had 20 years in the industry. And I've been using supplements the entire time. I didn't want to leave bodybuilding and I wanted to offer something to the sport. But I also obviously wanted a business that I could continue to live and thrive from. And I found a spot in bodybuilding that wasn't fully flushed out the way I thought it should be. So we created Hosstile with clinically dosed formulas that were fully transparent, which at the time there was like, I don't know, I want to say 2, 3, a handful of companies doing that kind of thing, but most were still using proprietary blends, underdosed ingredients, blah, 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 small scoops, and just kind of, for lack of a better word, getting over on the customer. So I'm like, let's do it our way. Let's put out shit that I actually want to use that most people don't understand is better for them. Maybe not better for them health-wise, but like actually like, when you make a claim that a product can do something, it's got to be connected to the ingredient in a dosing fashion.
Yeah.
Well, other companies are making claims, but they're not dosing the product properly. So we decided we're going to do this thing our way and do it properly so that people can actually feel the products. And so that was the start of it. And then also I just kind of had a passion for wanting to design clothing and just wanting to be more involved in the sport and leave a mark. So kind of all fit together.
What is your favorite flavor for the pre-workout?
Oh,
You can only pick one.
we make a grape apple hostility that actually is very, very good.
Is it sour or is it? I've never had it.
No, it's not. It's kind of like, it's not sour. No, it's a sweeter flavor.
So for this video, everybody that's like watching and listening, the Arnold's has not happened yet. So I just want to hear your top 3 predictions for open bodybuilding without seeing anybody on stage.
That's simple. Samson, Derek, Andrew, Brandon Curry, William Bonac, Sean Clarita. I'll give you 6.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah, I think that's, yeah, I think James and Sean are going to battle for 6 or 7.
Okay,
Anyway,
we'll
that's
see
all.
if that happens.
Yeah.
Do steroids make you gay?
Apparently, Greg Doucette said the steroids make you gay, so maybe it didn't happen to me. Maybe it's like, maybe it skipped my process, but
That's hilarious. I watched part of the podcast. I was dying.
Yeah.
I was doing cardio. I was like, oh my God. Like, I was out of breath. I was like, I can't.
listen,
So I paused it. I'm like, I'll
I
listen
think
to it
it
after.
makes you crazy. It makes
Fair.
you want to do crazy shit. If it made you gay, then you were already gay to begin with, and it
Fair.
just kind of made you go there.
If your life depended on eating 10,000 calories in one sitting, what's the game plan?
Oh, that's a breeze. If you
Really?
do-
Damn, I should have said 20,000. Go ahead.
Well, okay, that's not a breeze. I know 5,000 is just an average cheat meal.
Okay.
Like if you do a large pizza, 20 wings, that's pretty much 5,000 calories.
Not many people can do that.
That's crazy.
So that's like,
I can do that.
yeah, I know, right? So I know you can.
Oh, man.
So that's 5,000. So I don't know. I'm probably gonna do that with some Ben and Jerry's.
Fair.
That's probably gonna put me at 7. And then I'm probably gonna do a baked good of some sort, like a cake, maybe like an angel food because it's light, but it's still like I can eat all of it. and then I might finish with some chips because I want to probably go back to salty so I can keep on.
Fair.
Because the trick for people who don't know is if you go salty sweet, you can eat more food. So you go salty pizza, honey garlic wings, ice cream, chips.
It makes so much sense for me.
Yeah.
Okay. What is one gym trend you wish would disappear forever?
Well, I'm fortunate that I have my own gym, so I'm not really around for all the really irritating stuff like tripods and shit like that.
What about things that you see like on Instagram that are like some weird trend that
You know, the biggest trend I can't, it's such a broad one, but I'm just gonna, it's the one that I point to almost every fucking podcast is the incessant need to be an encyclopedia when you're fucking training and not just train like a meathead. I actually miss the days of like meatheads just going, I'm doing this because it feels good.
yeah, like hardcore.
Yeah, instead of like all these nerds that are like bodybuilding has become like nerd central kind of in a way. Like if you don't know all the biomechanical terminology and you don't know, and you didn't read the latest study on fucking this or that, then you're out of the loop. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but the biggest guys on earth haven't read any fucking studies. They don't care about the biomechanics of how things, like what a certain muscle is called or how it operates. They know what feels good, and they lift fucking heavy and they work their ass off, and that's how they get huge. So the nerd culture in bodybuilding is probably my least favorite new fad.
Explain the fantasy league.
The fantasy league is stolen from other fantasy leagues in major sports because bodybuilding is the one thing that for some reason we don't do cool shit. So I was like, I want to do something cool that other sports do. And fantasy leagues in other sports, basically you pick your players in the league and you follow them throughout the year. And as those players do cool things, like in football, if they more touchdowns they score, more yards they run for, that player gets points, and your team then gains those points throughout the year, right? So in bodybuilding, I just translated it. So let's say you start the league with 10,000 points, you pick the players you think are going to do the best in the year, and as they place, first, second, third, up to 10th, you get points back. And so at the end of the year, you're like, how good of a bodybuilding analyst are you? Do you have the most points? Did your players do the best? Did your athletes, place the best at shows? And then you kind of get bragging rights. You get prizes. We're going to do like first, second, third supplement prizes, or maybe the grand prize will be like $5,000 for winning the whole thing. Like
That's cool.
I haven't laid out all the prizes yet, but
Okay.
It's basically just a fun way. Like if you took aside the prizes and the bragging rights and all that, it's just a fun way to follow your favorite athletes and kind of keep score of how they're doing for the year. So it makes the whole thing more interactive. You have a reason to watch the shows now and stuff because you have something invested. So it's kind of like that. And then the second portion of it is a group function. You can play with like you and 4 other players. So like if you and your gym bros from the gym are like trying to decide who knows the most about bodybuilding, you can form your own little group, and then you guys can play your own little fantasy league and decide who's the smartest fucking guy in your group is, kind of thing. So
Yeah, but like, won't some people just pick like who already won last year? Like, are guys doing that? Like,
yeah, but you only have a set amount of points. So let's say you start the league with 15,000 points.
Okay.
Samson's worth 8,000.
That's what I was gonna ask. If people who won last year, like if they're worth more, like in the dollars. Yeah.
So Samson's worth like 8,000 points.
Oh wow.
Hottie's worth 6. So you can't just go in and pick the best guys because you'll just run out of points.
Okay.
So you have to be kind of strategic about how you do it. The group function is even better because when you pick somebody, then that person's off the board completely.
Oh wow.
So he picked Samson.
Yeah.
In our little group that we're doing.
Okay.
He picked Samson. I can't pick him now.
How did he pick him first? How did Paul pick him first?
Because no, that's not why. He's such an idiot. What happens is when you form a group and you hit generate, it gives you a random draft order. Paul was the first one to pick.
Wow, you got so lucky.
So Paul was like, I'm picking. But it's not really lucky because if you think about it, like think of this. If he picks Samson, Samson's only going to do 2 shows. Right?
Okay.
So he'll get points for those shows.
Yeah.
But if I pick like William Bonac, I know William's doing like 6 shows this year.
Oh wow! So you can add up more points.
So he's going to get more points by the end of the year.
Okay,
So there's a little bit of strategy involved in
Makes
how,
sense.
right?
That's super cool.
Yeah. So it's just listen. Overall, it's just a fun way for people to be more involved in bodybuilding and have a cool fucking reason to follow their favorite athletes and actually watch the shows.
Yeah, I like that. It's very cool. Very smart idea. Was it your idea? Like, yeah. Were you just like watching?
Well, like I said, I stole it. Like, look, I never try and copy anything from people in the industry. Like, I have a rule: don't copy fucking anything from anyone in bodybuilding. If they do something cool, it's theirs. Leave it alone. Which people don't do to me, unfortunately. Who copy my fucking shit all the time, which is unfortunate.
It's a compliment too.
Yeah, but it sucks as well. So anyway, I do have a rule that I can take inspiration from outside of the sport.
Okay.
So when I saw the football fantasy league, I'm like, man, that would be fucking cool if we could do that with bodybuilding. Because I hear people playing fantasy league shit, and I'm jealous because I'm like, I don't really follow football anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, why don't I just create it for bodybuilding? That way I can participate in my own sport.
Which totally makes sense. Football, it's so complicated.
If you follow it, I'm sure it's not, but I just don't watch football every weekend anymore. So I'm like, how can I do this so that I can have
because
fun?
then people have to spend like so much time watching NFL because the games are so long, right? And
Right.
They have to watch so much. What supplements does Hosstile want to develop that the industry hasn't seen yet?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Like, is there something that you've been like thinking about, if you can say it?
No. You know what? I can't say it because it's not that I can't say it. I can't even think of anything. The supplement market is so saturated. The goal is not necessarily to create something that's new and revolutionary because that's very hard to do. The main supplements are still the main supplements. Creatine is still fucking king. Citrulline is still the best for pump. The basics are there. The basic building block. It's like training. Like you're not going to all of a sudden see some new training revolution and be like, oh my God, there's this new way to train. No.
Might on TikTok, but yeah.
Yeah. So, but like training is training for the most part.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with supplements. You'll get a new ingredient here or there or this and that, but I can't think anything. Sometimes these ideas just come to me out of nowhere. So, but like just sitting here now, my main goal is to not necessarily create new and wild products that people have never seen. It's more just to educate on don't buy shitty products.
Fair.
And I'm okay with saying other companies are good. There's a handful of companies that actually do what we do in terms of like fully dosing their products and building out good formulas that are like synergistically approved for your body that work well. But there's a whole bunch more in the industry, like I would say the bulk, that are underdosing, putting out shit products, proprietary blends.
Yeah,
so you
like
don't even
weird
know
ingredients or something.
Yeah, so it's like my goal is not necessarily, like I said, to create a new thing that nobody's ever seen. It's more to create products that are like, when people try them, they're like, oh fuck, this feels way better. Now I know what I should be feeling like.
Yeah.
So that's kind of more the goal for Hosstile. Interview me now?
Yeah. We on?
Oh, this is a fucking this is the first. Usually I'm the one interviewing
Can I
you.
just hold it? Well, Fouad,
Yes, Paul.
do you feel that you would have been as good of a person without me as your best friend? That's a legit question. Because I have changed you over the years. When I first met you, you were rough around the edges. I think I helped you find a center lane.
I don't think you did anything. I think it was Alvin
Alvin had something to do with it, but
and John.
John
I
has
think
something to do with
primarily.
it too. But I'm the ones with
I
you
think
today.
if it wasn't for Alvin and John, I would probably be fucked up.
I had nothing to do with it.
I don't think you did anything.
I don't think I did. I know I did.
Hey,
Actually.
you're supposed to be
He doesn't
asking.
like-
You're supposed to be
doesn't like
asking the questions, not
Okay,
filling in the
okay,
answers
next
yourself.
question. Your bodybuilding career.
Yeah, okay.
If I wasn't there to push you every day, where do you think your career
You
would
think
have
you were
landed?
leading the workouts for real?
Not that I was leading them, but I
Do
definitely
you think you were actually leading the workouts?
not leading, but
Do you think you were even motivating me at all?
I was definitely helping you advance to a next level in your training.
No.
Yeah,
Listen, you were training with me. I wasn't training with you.
true.
Okay. And
Why-
the reason I can say that is I left Windsor for 3 years
Yeah.
and made the same progress.
Arguably.
I won 2 shows when I wasn't training with you.
Yeah, but there were weak shows, to be honest. I don't know.
How was your training when he moved?
Great.
Yeah.
Actually, now,
Really?
even now.
I think I have voice notes of him calling me going, when are you coming home?
Yeah, well, I did miss him a little bit. I wasn't good at training. Let's take you to another question. When you moved back to Windsor, why did you choose a house around the corner from me?
It was the biggest house I could afford.
There's lots of big houses. There's lots of big houses in Windsor that would have sold for the same price too.
So I looked around. I tried to move far away from you. I couldn't find anything.
Okay. You are the godfather to
Yes.
my daughters.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
It means if you die, I have 2 kids to take care
That's
of.
exactly what it means.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
technically exactly
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
You better keep them safe.
Yeah, I have to make sure.
Keep the boys
You
away.
picked the wrong Godfather, though. I might
Yeah.
die before you.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
so this weekend, are we gonna get fucked up at all?
Sunday.
Sunday, we're gonna get fucked up at the
I'm
dinner
not
party?
supposed to get really fucked up.
Yeah, you're not supposed to. Yeah, well,
I can have a couple drinks.
yeah. I got some other stuff here that won't affect
Yeah,
your.
we'll dabble in some things that
Yeah.
aren't bad for my health.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about Sam winning his pro card?
I think I am the fucking bodybuilding messiah. No, wait, that's not the right word.
Messiah
The
is like
oracle.
God.
I'm the bodybuilding oracle.
Oracle is like something you.
I know what an oracle is. That's why I said it. I knew this was going to happen. That's why I fucking signed him 2 years ago.
Yeah, you saw him being a pro.
Why do you think I signed him?
You could have been like a really good agent.
Listen, I signed him. Think about all the people I've signed.
Did you think he would actually get on stage, or think he was
Yes.
going to be satisfied with his popularity
I
and never
knew-
get on stage?
I was okay with it either way, but I knew he was going to get on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had already alluded to the fact that he was going to get on stage. He just said he was going to take his time.
Yeah.
So think about all the people I've signed. Justin Shire won his first show. I had Nick. People already knew Nick was going to be great. Samson's Mr. fucking Olympia. Sam won his first show. Like, I knew that this is why I fucking signed him. He didn't stay with us, unfortunately, but I knew he was going to be good.
Yeah.
I didn't know he'd get his pro card on the first fucking try.
Right,
I'm not
yeah.
saying that, but I knew he was going to be good. So it doesn't shock me that he got his pro card.
Did you think he deserved it?
I don't know. Look, I think he looked really good. I did a breakdown on my channel of it. The 2 guys in the overall with him, I felt like maybe were a little bit more classic than he was, but I only saw a video and I got a chance to talk to you and some other people that were at the show, and both people I've talked to have said that he looked better than the other guys in person. In video, though, the 2 guys that were with him in the overall maybe had a little more detail and maybe looked a little more classic. Sam was bigger than they were. I don't know. It was very close, so I think you'd have to kind of be there to really make the decision.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because some of the pictures I've even seen, like at the show, I thought it was very close.
And for people watching, Paul was judging.
Yeah, I judged
So-
the show. I thought it was very close. I thought it could have went arguably. Like I think there could have been an argument for Sam. There could have been an argument for the Class A winner.
Right.
Even could have been an argument for the Class B winner.
Well,
But-
and that's why when I say, like, I can't really say because it was close. So when it's close, you kind of have to be there to make the
Yeah,
call.
yeah. Because some of the pictures I've seen today, even I'm like, oh yeah, like in these pictures at least, these guys look like you said, a bit
Like
more
the Asian
classic.
kid,
That was Class A winner, I think. You're
is he
talking
Class A?
about. Yeah.
He was more classic, but he was much smaller. So then
Yeah.
you kind of got to weigh out
Yeah, that's how I felt.
Yeah.
Like Sam had the best overall package out of the three,
Yeah.
even taking consideration looks for classic.
But I've
versus
said this
bodybuilding.
before on the podcast. I don't actually think Sam is going to be a great classic bodybuilder. I think he'll be a better open bodybuilder.
Yeah, I don't think his.
When I look at
structure-
his physique, I see a more of an open. He still looks obviously too small, but he looks more of a bodybuilder than he does a classic physique guy.
yeah, he would have good shape for a bodybuilder,
Yeah.
but it's not the ideal shape for classic.
That's right. That's how I see it too.
Yeah. Well, that concludes my interview with Fouad.